Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name's Zoe. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I really do hope that you decide to subscribe and also turn that bell on so you're notified every single time that I post. And if you're a current subscriber, please make sure your bell is turned on, as YouTube doesn't like suggesting true crime content. So today's video is episode 1 of Crimemas 2019. So I'm going to give you the basic rundown. This week I am posting a video every single day for the next 5 days, and they are going to be all Christmas related true crime cases, and it's going to take you right up till Christmas Eve. I am so excited for this week. The cases that I'm talking about this week are absolutely crazy. You just wouldn't believe that it's possible that these cases have happened, but they have. So please make sure you share this video and also the playlist that I will create with your friends, with your true crime friends, people who are interested in true crime, because this week is going to be absolutely crazy. So whilst it's winter and Christmas, go and grab yourself a hot chocolate, a hot water bottle, get all snuggled up and ready for today's case. Today we are discussing the Carnation murders. Carnation is a small city in Washington located 25 miles east of Seattle. Even though it's labelled a city, it is pretty much the opposite. It is very small and has a population of around 2,100 people. The upside to Carnation being small is that it's very close knit. It is a place where everybody knows everybody, and the community is always coming together to do annual parties for things like 4th of July and Halloween. It is a very friendly place to live. It is safe, it has a low crime rate, and the most serious crime that was committed was petty theft. But that was all about to change in 2007. What happened in 2007 would change Carnation forever. On Christmas Eve 2007 at around 5 PM, police received a 911 call, and on this call there was no talking, there was just blood-curdling screams. Then a few seconds later the phone went dead. Police were immediately concerned, so they decided to track down the address, and the address they got led them to the Anderson family home. Police decided to send dispatchers out to the property just to see what was going on, but when officers arrived they discovered that the gate to the property was locked. So they had a quick look around, they couldn't see anything, and they left. The Anderson family consisted of 61-year-old Judy Anderson and her husband, 60-year-old Wayne Anderson, and the couple had been happily married for over 30 years. Judy worked for the Postal Service and Wayne was an engineer. They had 3 children together, 32-year-old twins Mary and Scott and 29-year-old Michelle. Scott was married to Erica, and together they had 2 children, 5-year-old Olivia and 3-year-old Nathan. Judy and Wayne were absolutely over the moon with their grandchildren, as any grandparents would, and they also loved having Erica as part of the family too. Michelle lived on the family's property in a trailer with her 29-year-old boyfriend, Joseph McEnroe. They were your typical family. They loved family time and spending time together, and there was never really any issues. Judy had worked in the Postal Service for a number of years, and she became friends with everybody, especially Linda Teal. They had both instantly hit it off and became very close friends. Just before the Christmas period, they were telling each other their plans, what they planned to do as families, and their plans for Christmas Day. And then they said that they would see each other on the 26th of December when they both returned to work. On the 26th of December, Linda arrived at work at around 7 AM. Judy wasn't there yet, but she wasn't too concerned, as Judy wasn't due to start work for another 30 minutes. At 7:45, Linda started to get a little worried. It wasn't like Judy to be late for work. She was the kind of person who would always arrive and have plenty of time. But Linda decided to leave it just a little bit longer. At 8 AM, Linda had enough of waiting around. She was extremely worried. She knew something just wasn't right, so she decided to leave work and go and check up on Judy. When Linda arrived at the Anderson home, she also discovered that the gate was locked, just like the police did 2 days earlier. So she decided to get out of her car and walk around the gate. She approached the front door, she knocked, but there was no answer. She tried the door handle and the door was unlocked, and this sparked panic in Linda. Judy and Wayne were not the type of people to leave the door unlocked. She pushed the door a little and shouted, "Judy, it's Linda." There was no answer, so she decided to push the door a little bit more and she shouted, "Judy, we are worried about you." Linda then looked down, and this is where she discovered a man's body lied in the doorway. She had found the dead bodies of 3 people, a man, a woman and a child. She immediately calls 911. Linda doesn't know whether the female is Judy, as the room is too dark to tell, but either way she was absolutely panicked. She immediately called 911.
911?
There's been a murder. There's 3 people dead that I can see right now.
Inside?
I just came up. She works with me.
Inside a house?
Yes.
What do you see?
There's a baby and a man and a woman, and she's my best friend.
And this is your best friend?
Well, you know, looking at the person the woman that's dead out there, I'm not sure it's Judy.
Linda couldn't tell whether the female body was Judy's body as the room was too dark. But either way, she was just totally distraught, and you can hear that in the 911 call. She knew something was wrong, but nothing could have prepared her for this. At 9:30 AM, officers arrive at the property, and this is when they discovered that the 3 bodies belonged to Scott and Erica Anderson and their 3-year-old son, Nathan. When they moved Erica's body, they found 5-year-old Olivia underneath her. It was very clear to officers that Erica did everything she could to protect her children. All 4 victims had been killed by a shot to the head. Investigators immediately sealed off the area and started taking forensic evidence from in and around the home. And this is when they discovered the bodies of Judy and Wayne Anderson in a shed in their backyard. After the gruesome discovery, Michelle and Joseph turned up at the gates demanding entry to the home. They claimed they didn't know what was happening, but they never once asked what was happening, and they didn't ask if Judy and Wayne were okay. This instantly sparked suspicion. Police just couldn't get their heads around why they would drive up to the family home, see all the tape and the forensic evidence teams and not ask one question. Police decided to take them in for questioning. They asked Michelle where she had been that night, and Michelle said that her and Joseph had decided to go to Las Vegas to get married, but they got lost on the way, so they decided to come home. She claimed that the last time she saw her parents was on Christmas Eve before leaving for Las Vegas. Now at this point, I'm assuming that police hadn't told Michelle why they were at the property, because they asked Michelle why did she think that the police was at the parents' home, and she immediately broke down. She told police, "When I shot that gun, I instantly felt bad. I wondered what I had done. Am I a monster?" She had just confessed to the horrible massacre of her family, and once she started talking, she could not stop. Police finally had an idea of what happened that night. The Anderson family had arranged a family get-together for Christmas. The whole house had a festive feel. The lights, the tree and the roast cooking away in the oven. Judy was sat wrapping presents for her grandchildren, and Wayne was sat on the couch watching TV. Michelle and Joseph entered the house, both armed with handguns. Joseph tried to distract Judy whilst Michelle killed her father Wayne, but her gun got jammed, so Joseph took 2 shots, killing both Judy and Wayne. They dragged the bodies into the shed and cleaned up the house, and they both sat there patiently waiting for Scott, Erica and the children to arrive. An hour later, Scott and Erica arrived. They didn't notice that anything was off, so they just made themselves at home. They took their jackets and shoes off and got themselves comfortable. Out of nowhere, Michelle and Joseph appear, Michelle shooting Scott 4 times and killing him. It was Erica that placed the 911 call. She tried shouting "not the kids" before the phone line went dead. And then Michelle shot her 2 times. Michelle noticed that she had run out of bullets, so she told Joseph that he had to kill the children. This broke my heart to read, but the children were clinging onto Erica's dead body, sobbing and crying, when Joseph pulled the trigger and killed them both. Michelle Anderson and Joseph McEnroe had just wiped out the whole family with just 14 bullets. They had locked the gate knowing that police were going to arrive. But if police would have taken a closer look, they would have saw the carnage and caught the killers. But instead, the bodies were left there to go undiscovered for 2 days. A detective asked Michelle why did they kill the children. Michelle said that they would have been too traumatised to live. They also asked her why did they do it, what was her motive. And Michelle went ahead and openly gave police her motive. She didn't like that people were stepping on her, and that's Michelle's words. I'm not too sure what she means by that. And it also became clear that money was a big motive for these murders. Her brother Scott owed her money, and her parents had started to ask her to pay rent for the trailer, even though she had lived in there so long for rent-free. Michelle also told police that her and Joseph had come up with this plan 2 weeks earlier. The whole confession took 2 hours to document. It was very detailed. Given the confession, police decided to arrest them both. They also agreed to take police to a local river where they had discarded of the weapons. On the 26th of December 2007, both of them were charged with 6 counts of murder. In 2008, whilst in the jailhouse, Michelle again confessed to these murders, and she said that she wanted the worst punishment possible. Unfortunately, it will take the Anderson family a long time to get the justice they deserved, despite the fact that Michelle and Joseph had confessed to the murders. In October 2008, the King County prosecutor said he would try to get the death penalty, but the judge overruled it. Jay Inslee, the governor of Washington, also said that the death penalty wouldn't happen whilst he was in office. In 2013, the Supreme Court overruled what the governor had said, and the trials were to go ahead. In January 2014, Joseph admitted to the crimes to try and avoid execution, and his trial date was set for the 19th of December 2014. He was found guilty of 6 counts of murder, he was sentenced to life in prison, and he managed to avoid the death penalty. Michelle was then tried. She was also found guilty of 6 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. So that is all for today's case. I am sorry about the lighting, it's got incredibly worse as time has gone on. It is getting dark earlier, it's literally 4:30, so I don't know why it's so dark at this time, and I've only 1 ring light out at the minute. But it's not about my lighting, it's about the cases I'm talking about. So if you did enjoy this video, please let me know in the comments below. Also, take a guess at what cases could be coming up next in my True Crime week, and I shall see you tomorrow for another True Crime video. Thanks. Bye.